it might be in the city centre, but it's out in the suburbs as it's near to where most of the Beatles actually lived and grew up. It's partly residential, partly commercial. You'll see that there's a mixture of houses and shops as we go along. And it's not just Penny Lane that is referred to as Penny Lane around here. At the top of the road is a large junction where 5 roads come together, and it's that whole area around the top that's known as Penny Lane, and there used to be a bus terminus there, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Now on the left-hand side you're going to see some shops which were used in the filming of the video Free as a Bird. They're just behind me now. They made it look as if the street was back in the 1950s. On the right-hand side we're passing Dovedale Road, and at the end of that was a primary school called Dovedale Primary, where John Lennon and George Harrison both went to school. This large green building used to be a church hall for the church at the top of the road, St Barnabas's Church, and lots of local bands would play there. Well, the Quarrymen played there, and so did Rory Storm and the Hurricanes when Ringo was playing with them as well. So this area was very familiar to all of them. And the bus terminus at the top of the road, that used to be where lots of buses from the surrounding areas would come and change for buses to go in and out of the city centre. So all of the Beatles that lived around this area, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, John Lennon particularly, all would come through this bus interchange at the top and spend quite a lot of time there. So that's why Paul McCartney would have had observations from many, many years of passing through this area, and he was writing and reminiscing about times and his childhood. We're coming through that bus junction now, and if you look over on the right-hand side, in the middle of this junction, you'll see it more clearly when we come through the lights. There's a white building that used to be the bus shelter. That was mentioned in the song. That's the shelter where the pretty nurse was selling poppies from a tray. Next to it, on the other corner, you can see a Lloyd's Bank. Well, that's the bank on the corner where, of course, the banker on the corner came from. And just above that as well, you can see the shelter and the bank. There's some lovely blue suburban skies. Well, Ross has organised those specifically for you to be able to see them today. The Penny Lane blue suburban skies. So here's the shelter on the right, and the bank is just beside it. And now if you look out on the left-hand side here, these shops that we're passing, here's the barber's shop that was also mentioned in the song. Of all the Beatles to have lived nearest to Penny Lane was John Lennon. The very first house he lived in was just up here. He was born in a hospital in the city centre, and then he came to live this road that we're just passing now on the right-hand side, Newcastle Road. He lived at number 9 Newcastle Road for the first 4 years of his life with his parents and his maternal grandparents. Well, his parents separated actually when he was about 2 years old. His father worked at sea, went back to sea after John had been born, did a little bit of a disappearing act and stayed in New York for a while, and their relationship broke down, so his parents separated, and as a result John Lennon went on to live later on with his aunt and uncle, and we will see that house later on.
Right.